the person who is grateful, but it affects those around them. I'm grateful for the next speaker. His name is Keith Hardy, and in his introduction, St. Paul Public Schools, he had failed to meet the minimum standards for student proficiency in math and reading for a second year in a row. This past school year, the main reason for this failure is poor performance on the standardized tests by certain populations of students, African American, Latino, and special education, and those who are poor. Our Saturday morning live members have great community leaders who enjoy volunteering for various organizations. It's mentoring service that is highly needed in St. Paul schools to help them improve student achievement. Our speaker, Keith Hardy, not only serves on the St. Paul Board of Education, but he also serves as a mentor to a 7th grade boy through Chosen to Achieve. Today, Keith will give us a status report about the mentoring programs in St. Paul's public schools, how effective they can be, and how each of us can help in his 13 to 15-minute report titled, High Time for Intervention. Following the report, Keith will field questions from you folks for 5 to 7 minutes. Let's welcome Keith Hardy.
This past Thursday, I was walking through the halls of one of our junior high schools in St. Paul with my mentee, Jalen. As we're making our way to the destination he wanted to take me to, we passed by one of the assistant principals who was in a conversation with one of Jalen's classmates. And from the assistant principal, I heard him say, well, it's because of your behavior that we're having this discussion. And if we want to avoid an intervention, then you have a chance to change your behavior. Now, I chose not to stick around for the rest of the conversation, but it had me thinking that it is high time for an intervention. This morning, fellow community leaders, I welcome you all to my report about what is happening in our St. Paul Public Schools. This past Thursday morning, our superintendent, Maria Karstarfin, gave a full report to many of our community partners, the status of our St. Paul Public Schools from this past school year and what we have on the horizon for the coming year. Today I want to just give a subset of her report with a focus on where each one of you can help us help our students. And that focus is mentoring. I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing an update or recap of what's happening in our school district in terms of academic performance. I'm going to focus on that specific area where each one of us can help our students increase their academic performance. And that's through our fantastic mentoring programs. The one I'm involved in, Chosen to Achieve, that you heard in my introduction, and our other programs. Each one of you right now should have a handout. It's a page from the full report that the superintendent shared. You can get a copy of this full report from our St. Paul Public School website or by contacting the office if you're interested in your own copy. If the handout should be coming around. And I want to spend just a few minutes explaining what you will see, information you will see on this handout. This is a recap of the main objective we have in St. Paul Public Schools, and that is academic performance of all of our students as measured through standardized tests. So as you look at the information, I'll explain some of it in case you're not as acquainted with it, and then we'll move forward with our report today. You'll see the title is We Believe in Results. I'm wearing a button here on my lapel. You can't see it from where you see it. It says Believe, and it has a photo of one of our 38,700 students in our school district this school year. And below it says St. Paul Public Schools. That is the overall theme of the superintendent's administration and of all of us involved with the St. Paul school district. We believe in our students. We believe in their potential right now as they're students in our schools. We believe in the fantastic, unfathomable potential they have after they graduate from our schools and move on to post-secondary education and to their work life and their adult life. And that's the overriding theme behind all the numbers and everything else that we're talking about. Now, if you look on this outcome number 1 on the page in front of you, you'll see there are 3 charts, one for reading scores, math scores, and science scores. In Minnesota, for all schools, private, public, charter, etc., there are standardized tests that our students in grades 4 through 11 take each year. And this is the external measurement of the success of each school in terms of teaching students the basics in now 3 areas. The test is called the MCA2, or the Minnesota Comprehensive Assessment Test, the second version. And this was implemented 2 school years ago. Each spring, students take tests, focus on their reading skills, focus on their math skills, and this past school year, 2007-2008 school year, we began a pilot for testing their science skills. This coming school year, the science scores would be more incorporated into measurement of success for schools. It was a pilot this past school year. Taking a look at some of the numbers here, you see that the student population is measured in 8 specific demographic groups in terms of the results. You see them listed on the charts, from American Indian to ELL as English language learners, those who come to our school where English is not their native language. Special education, and then low income as any student comes from a family that's at or near the prescribed poverty level. That would be your low income students. In 2008, the column that you see there, listed 2008, that would be the test scores from this past spring. And then some comparisons from the 2 previous years. For the 4th column, District Target 2008, under No Child Left Behind, which is a federal legislation that dictates how well students should be doing on these standardized tests, what we call proficient. Students should score a certain number or higher to be considered proficient. And each year, that number goes higher and higher. For the school year ending 2008, it was supposed to be 60% proficient. So all students in the schools who get tested should be 60% or higher of that population being proficient on the standardized test. By 2014, it's supposed to be 100% for every school in the country. That's one of our outstanding goals. What you see on the district target is we actually raise that percentage a little bit higher in terms of district expectations, because we expect a lot from our students and from those who interact with them. So let's look at a couple of numbers for the reading. You see the American Indian population in 2008 was 66% proficient, and the school district's expectation was that 73% of our American Indian student population would be proficient. Again, moving down to the English language learner, ELL, 56% were proficient in 2008. We had an expectation of 66%. So you see for all those categories that our student population didn't quite reach the expectations of our district. That's where we need an intervention in helping with reading skills. If you look at the chart for math scores, you see some similar trends. And our African American student population in 2008, 44% were proficient on the standardized math test. We had an expectation in the district that 50% of our African American students would be proficient. And same pattern, you see that in general, our students' actual test scores were below expectations of the school district administration. Under science, because it was new, you see a comparison of our students with all students in the same demographic group across the state of Minnesota. Again, this is public, private, charter, all types of schools. You see, we did have 3 of our demographic population that met or were equal to the state numbers, state average, and others were below. So you see that some are above. Our ELL population, for example, was above the state average. Our special education population was below the state average. So this helps you understand those numbers. So we have a need out there to help reach our students and lift them up. Now, the main ways that a school district addresses that type of need is, of course, through our staff, through our fantastic teachers, our administrators, our principals, assistant principals, all of the counselors and coaches that we have in our schools, our education assistants and teaching assistants. They do their jobs. We're providing a lot of professional development, many other opportunities where they can collaborate on good teaching practices and good counseling, coaching, tutoring practices to help our students become even more proficient, in particular in these 3 areas. Where you come in is that key piece that we need, and that is people to mentor our students. Now, sometimes when I talk to people about being a mentor, they think, oh my goodness, it's too much time. I wonder if I can handle that. I'm not comfortable dealing with young people. And many valid reasons that some people shy away from committing to being a mentor. In all of our programs, and I'll show our programs in a moment here, what we look for in terms of you being a mentor is that you are a positive role model for one or more students. And being a positive role model for many young people, and think about if you had your own young people, those who are parents here, it just needs someone to believe in them, someone to take an interest in them, someone to care what's going on in their lives, how they're doing in school, how they're doing in their classes. That's truly what we look for from a mentor. Now, in terms of these 3 areas that get measured on the test and where we need even higher achievement across those areas, if you can bring an expertise or a knowledge of math or reading or science, that can definitely be a bonus for our students. Let's take a look at the mentoring programs that we have. And my high-tech version of this information is on the shelf, so we'll go back to the old school way of getting information. Through the flip chart, make sure everybody can see this. So we have some formal programs in our school district. Use my research, there we go. One of those is Children to Achieve, which is a program that I'm involved in. Children to Achieve has a population of African American students. They are, along with our Asian American students, our highest percentage population of students, each 29% of our student population. Children to Achieve partners adults who are primarily in the business or corporate world to work with our African American students. Again, from just being there as a positive role model to helping them in specific areas. My student this year is Jalen, and Jalen is working on his math skills. And so I'm offering my expertise of knowing math and helping him to become even more comfortable with his math and perform even better in that area. We have a Hmong mentoring program, which, as the name implies, focuses on our Hmong population. They do comprise the largest majority of our Asian student population. We have a multicultural excellence program, and that involves students of all demographic backgrounds. And it's a program for our high school, grade 9 through 12, while with Children to Achieve is from grade 7 to 10 this year. And our Hmong mentoring program is all of our grades K through 12. There are other mentoring programs that you may be acquainted with that, of course, involve some of our students, such as Boulder Options, which is the program for those who are athletically inclined, running or bicycling, when you partner with a young person. Junior Achievement, or DECA, Distributed Education Clubs of America, where you focus on business and marketing skills and partner with young people who are working in that area. And other mentoring partners that you are probably acquainted with. We also are looking for more informal mentoring, as we call it. At our Webster Elementary School, there is a church, St. Mark's, where their members spend time in the school working with our young people as mentors. Come in, meet with them once or twice a month, spend some time with them. A fantastic informal partnership that the church has chosen to adopt at school. And we encourage more of that across our system. We have more than 70 school buildings in St. Paul Public Schools, and definitely would love to have all of you to be involved through informal mentoring. Another point I want to mention is peer mentoring. That, of course, is young people mentoring their classmates. I'm trying to spend time with young people who excel in certain areas. Maybe they do well in science, maybe they do well in reading. I say, hey, would you help out some of your classmates? Help them to do better in reading, help them do better in math. So that's something that you as community leaders can encourage the young people in your life to be peer mentors in their school. You may wonder, what are some of the benefits? Or what do young people look for in mentors? What do students want from our mentors? Everything from take me seriously. I'm going to get this information from Education Leadership. There's actually an article focused for teachers, but I thought the principles applied to mentors as well. So the young people say, take me seriously. Especially in those middle school years, grades 6 through 8, where all those body changes are happening, and sometimes young people are like, who am I and where am I going? That is an especially important time for a mentor to be there. And I'm finding that with Jalen, he's working on organization skills and bringing the right books to class and taking care of his homework. And he's trying to acclimate moving from grade school to junior high, and get a chance to help him with that. Help me bring out my best self. Show me I can make a difference. That's a key way you can help a young person as an adult mentor. Point me toward goals, especially those of you who are very goal-focused yourself in your own life. You can help a young person to focus on goals. And nurturing my self-respect. Maybe you probably heard the statistic that's mentioned that young people by age 4 or 5, they usually hear 400 negative messages a day and 5 positive messages. You can spend time giving your mentee a lot of positive feedback and nurturing his or her self-respect. It's a key way you can help a young person as a mentor. So these are some of the ways that students feel that we can help them by spending a little time with them as a mentor. And I have found that in my 3 years being part of Children to Achieve, I've seen that happen with students I've worked with. So those are my report and my thoughts I wanted to share right now about mentoring. I welcome questions that you may have about the mentoring program or the information I shared with you in terms of what's happening with the school district.